Good evening, one and all. Welcome to Heavyweight Gaming. Thanks for tuning in. Tonight we'll be playing our second session of our Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition campaign, which I have lovingly called Strange Beginnings. It does have an official title, but that's the title that I wanted to give it. If you are wanting to get into Vampire the Masquerade, you can actually buy this starter campaign from the Modifius website. It is £5. I highly recommend it if you want to start playing your own vampire games. It's a great way to actually get into it, and it gives you everything you need to start running. Quick disclaimer before we actually go any further tonight: Vampire the Masquerade is a game with mature content, and as such it can touch on subjects and issues that some may find upsetting. The actions and views of the characters are not shared by myself, any of the players, or anyone associated with heavyweight gaming. So viewer discretion is highly advised if you are watching this. With that out of the way, I can introduce myself and my players. So I am Jade, I will be the storyteller. And next we have the wonderful SJ, who is playing Alexander the Malkavian. Say hello.
Hi everybody, totally normal Malkavian.
Totally normal Malkavian. Next we have the wonderful Mel, who is playing Leah the Bruja.
Hello.
And then we have Dan, played by Luke, who is Lemire.
Yay.
And finally, we have Beth, who is playing Grace of the Ministry.
Sup.
The wonderful Grace of the Ministry. Sup. Beautiful. Okie dokie, my wonderful, wonderful players. Are you all sitting comfortably?
As much as we can be.
As much as you can be. Then, let us tell a vampire story. Your eyes pop open at sundown, alert and ready to go. You feel your hunger, your endless companion, and you briefly reminisce about the events from last night and the vivid dreams you may have experienced. You can feel your pulse. Sorry, there is no pulse. This is a bit that I have taken out. Yes, that's right. As you all slowly start to rise from your little camp cot beds in the basement of Elizabeth's nightclub, can you all do me your rouse checks, please? Which is by rolling a single red die, please.
Single red die.
Or whatever dice you are using to count as your
But
dice.
yeah.
Oh, I got a success.
I got a success.
I got a 9, which I believe is a success.
That is correct.
I got a success.
Okay, so none of you get hungrier. That is awesome. So, as you all sort of stumble your way out of the little camp beds and head out towards the stairs to the club, as you come up back onto what is effectively the ground floor of the club, where the bar and the dance floor and everything is, you open the door and you can see Julia at the bar just cleaning glasses, and she notices as you come in. She kind of looks up from her glass, she stops, she smiles. You know, she's got quite a warm smile to her. And she goes, ah, and then she kind of ducks under the bar, and then she pulls out what looks like one of those little blood bags, and she just holds it up, and she looks directly at you, Dan, and she says, I think you wanted this one. You had a thing?
Oh, yeah. I think she was getting a hold of some sort of less two-legged blood. I'll take that.
Yeah. We've now got a nice supply. It's I'm keeping it in the special fridge underneath, separated from the other ones, because not everyone likes the four-legged kinds like you have got now. So we've kept that to one side for you. So you have that. Would the rest of you like to have a drink whilst you're awake? I'm not sure. Are you hungry?
Does the hunger ever actually go away? I think I'm okay for now. Thank you, though.
Is this best out of a glass, or do I just get a straw? Like, how?
It's down to preference. You can decant it into a glass, you can stick a straw in it, or you could just go the way that most people do and you could just bite into it. It's entirely up to you.
Can I have a glass, please? Or a
Yes, you
mug
can have a
or
glass.
something.
You're not going to drink it like a Capri Sun, then?
This is already surreal enough as it is. I think pretending that it's... Yeah, if I could have something to put this in, that would be...
Yep. If you just hand me a back, I'll decant it and then I'll get rid of the bag.
He pops that back across to you.
Cool. So Julia takes it, and then she has like a high tumbler glass, and she has a pair of little scissors, and she just kind of snips the corner and just very slowly, like you're pouring sauce into this glass.
And
then she looks at it.
To look at peppercorn sauce bags the same way again.
She's poured this like vegetable blood. She's poured this animal blood.
Yes,
vegetable
your regular common garden vegetable blood.
Yep. She's poured this animal blood into the high tumbler glass, and she like looks at it for a moment, and then she looks around, and then she goes, and then from underneath the counter, she just pulls a small sprig of celery, and she just puts it in the top there, and just hands it back to you like. It looks like a Bloody Mary.
It does, and that's probably what I'm going to think of quite a lot as I knock this back.
Yep. So if you're drinking it, you can reduce your hunger down to 1. Woo. You never go below 1 unless you do a wonderful thing called diablerie, which we may come across later.
That sounds like a bad thing.
It is a very bad thing, but it doesn't stop it from not happening.
Oh joy.
So she kind of clears away the bag that the blood was in, and then she looks back at you all and says, so Elizabeth she is here already. She's upstairs. She said that you guys might take a little bit longer to wake up, given it's your first few nights. So, she's here. She's in her office. If you want to go and say hello. I think she has had a message.
A message about us?
Yeah. Apparently it's from visiting Tremere vampire. I don't know. She didn't tell me much, but she said you might be interested. So if you want to go and speak to her and see what it's about.
Sounds like as good a plan as any.
But I had so many other plans for tonight, of course.
Did you actually have other plans?
No, that was sarcasm, dear. I think going and speaking. Yes, let's do the thing.
The diaries have kind of cleared themselves at the moment.
Death seems to do that. Yes.
I'll finish off my significantly more bloody than normal Mary, and slide it back across the table and thank her, and then head on up the stairs.
So are you all following Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you make your way up onto the first floor where you've been before. You were there last night when you had a conversation with Elizabeth, and as per usual, her door is open. She is sat at her desk. She is in a new two-piece suit. She looks impeccably well dressed, and she is sat behind her laptop once again, typing furiously like there is no mañana.
Just kind of give the door a wee knock as they come in. Last down at the bar said that we might want to head on up and speak to yourself.
Ah, yes, yes. Come in. Take a seat. Did you all sleep okay? I apologize that the accommodations weren't great, but it was what we had readily available.
Perfectly fine, thank you.
Good, I'm glad. And have you all fed this evening?
I fed
Yes,
last night, so I'm good.
It was well sorted out.
Yes, we are taken care of quite well, but I have not yet fed. I think I'll do so later.
You may find you don't need to feed every night. It's just if you fancy it, but it's not necessary. You know, you'll be able to tell best when you're hungry. Trust me, you'll know.
Definitely a lot hungrier last night.
That's to be expected on your first night, but well, there is always a supply for you here, so don't worry too much. If you run into issues, we're here to help. I have enough money and sway to acquire anything that you may need.
Okay.
I was hoping to get my hands on a phone at some point, just to make a quick call.
Well, I can look into getting you a phone. It might just be a simple burner phone, just to be on the safe side.
That's fine. I just need to make a single call. I don't really need to keep the phone. But I'm kind of embracing this leave the old life behind thing.
It can be nice, depending on the situation of your previous life. I've known other kindred who have absolutely despised having this life over their old one. It's down to preference, I suppose.
It's gravy time.
That makes sense. I suppose it depends on what you were doing during your prior life.
Yes. The reason I called you all up here is I've had a message delivered by. We will lovingly call her a sponsor. She seems to think she may have found one of your sires, who happens to be in the local area. They're not from around here, but they seem to be travelling for an Elysium that is happening further down south and have stopped off on the way. I have the address here. It is at a hotel, just on the outskirts. Might be worth checking out to see if they are in fact one of your sires.
You know who it might be?
Well, my informant says it's a Tremere, so going off that idea, then by right it would be Dan's sire, given he is Tremere.
Okay. Couple of questions.
Mm-hmm.
What's an Elysium? Second, meeting this person, presumably sire, from what you said last night, that's whoever offed me in the first place, yeah?
Yes.
And meeting them again will accomplish...
Well, sires are supposed to take care of their fledglings. You know, you're supposed to be their responsibility. They're supposed to teach you how to adapt to your new life and to powers that you will have inherited. They may be able to help you better than I or my sponsor could. They also may be able to answer some questions on why they chose you.
Valid. It's not like I've got much else to be doing now that I'm this.
As to your question of what is Elysium, Elysium is it's a, let's say, call it a social gathering between the Anarchs and the Camarillas, where everything has to be civil. Powers are not permitted, and there are some other rules, but it is mostly a social gathering, generally in a major location. Sometimes it can be to welcome in a new prince, for example, or it can be to discuss an issue that is happening in the area.
Okay.
It's
Yes.
raising more questions for me, but okay.
If you have more questions, I am happy to answer them.
Camarilla, Anox?
Yes, there are two groups of kindred. There are the Camarilla, who they call themselves the Ivory Tower. They are generally kindred who stick to the older ways of living. They enforce a lot of rules. Technology being banned is sort of one of the Camarilla's rules. They're not all that pleased with technology. Technology is part of the reason that London fell, because the humans managed to find where some kindred were, and that started the purge, shall we call it. So the Camarilla tend to rule a bit with an iron fist, and they have a whole, let's call it a hierarchy. There is like a ruling prince of a city, for example. There's no ruling prince of Chester, but there is, say, for Manchester, there is a ruling prince. And then you would have essentially what is called the Prince's Court. You have different kindred who have different rules and enforce the rules of the city in such a way. The Anarchs, on the other hand, well, take the word Anarch and really think about what they could possibly be.
Oh yes, now that you've explained the Camarilla, that makes
You're probably going
sense.
to get to the correct conclusion. They are the kindred who are fighting for a difference, shall we say. They run things very, very differently. They don't have a prince, they have barons. And they are not so opposed to technology.
Okay. Makes sense.
Not every kindred is bound to either Camarilla or Anarchs. Some choose to not get involved with either, like myself.
To be honest, it kind of seems like it might be the wisest.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a lot of fighting, and I'm quite happy to run my little club and stay out of the way.
Don't blame you.
I'm probably going to regret asking this, but you've been mighty quiet this evening. This is going to take a bit of getting used to. Wee one, you've kind of held your wish this morning. And kind of
talking to me.
Well, I wasn't directing it at Alexander. I'm not brave enough, quite frankly, to say to the woman that looks like she punches folk for a living. And I was speaking to you.
Fine, it's nothing for you to worry about. Did you happen to find out anything about our deaths at all? Yes, I did not me personally, but I had somebody do a little bit of digging, and it turns out you are indeed registered in the death part of the registry. It was, they were listed as different things. I believe Alexander's was listed as suicide. Leah, I believe, was listed as killed in line of duty, essentially. I'm not entirely sure what your job was, but apparently you died for your job. And she looks at you just kind of like, I could take a guess. You, my dear Grace, you were apparently killed in a work-related incident. I'm not entirely sure what that could entail. And Dan, I believe yours was poison. According to the death registry, you have all been cremated, so your bodies are non-existent, shall we say?
Well, feeling not too bad for being poisoned and cremated. So I guess that's something to kind of look on the bright side, if that's something that we can do. It looks like we've got a little outing for today, kiddies, so something to keep us occupied and out of our kindly benefactors here.
Killed in the line of duty. Would it have been protecting my ward?
I'm not 100% sure. It didn't go into great detail of what it was you actually died for. It just said died in line of duty.
Can you have the people that look up things for you? Can you have them look up Cassie Little and check that she's also not dead, please?
Yes, I will. And she gets like a little piece of paper and a pen, and she writes down Cassie's name. Yes, I can get my informant to maybe ask. Probably a Nosferatu. They're very good at digging up information, so they would be able to assist you the best, I would say.
It's important to me. If that would be great if you could.
That's yeah, I can do that. That's not a problem.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that you all may need answering?
If we could grab that address.
She pulls another piece of paper and it's folded over, and she just hands it to you. I could see about getting you a lift there, or if you want, you can make your own way there. It's not too far. You could probably walk it. Maybe experience the night air yourselves.
Usually, I would be all for that. Might need to ask for directions. Don't really have Google Maps on me anymore.
I'll get you a driver.
Thanks.
In the meantime, if there's anything else you want to ask me, you can ask me now. And as she's saying this, she's picking up her handset, punching in a number, and then just popping it. Yes, can you bring the car around for 4, please? Yeah, I'll yeah, bye. And she puts it down.
Is it possible to get drinks to take out in case this ends up being a long night?
I suppose I could look at getting you.
What, like a travel mug?
The problem with storing blood and then drinking it later is you might find it does not taste great. Generally, we tend to try and drink it as fresh as possible.
Never mind then.
It's okay. I'm sure we'll protect. Well, I'm sure we can find a snack on the way.
Also, from what she was saying, you don't necessarily need to partake every night. It's seems a little bit more streamlined than 3 square meals a day.
You may find that you have some nights where you do need to drink regularly, but that might be down to certain other factors, such as using your abilities. You may find that if you strain yourself a bit too much, you may cause your beast to become a bit hungrier. But then you can go days without actually needing to drink anything. I do know of a kindred who used to go quite a while without drinking, and she would regularly try not to drink anything. Sometimes it didn't work out, and you know, she had some accidents, but the majority of the time.
Nope, sounds, don't want to use the word promising, but there's options.
Do you, as players, have anything else you would like to ask Elizabeth? If not, I will. We'll get the car.
Road trip round the corner to the Premier Inn.
Whoa, Premier Inn? Premier Inn?
You said it was a hotel.
So it was a hotel, not an inn.
Travel lodge then, sorry.
Sorry, is Grace asking for another change of clothing? So Elizabeth looks at you and she looks at your outfit and then goes, I don't have a spare. So I'll remember to bring some other sets with me tomorrow. Sorry, I didn't really think that you would. Well, I suppose actually we all do change our clothing. And she's got that look on her face like, but actually there are kindred who don't change their clothing.
Well, I'm not one of them. I can tell you that now.
If it makes you feel any better, you don't sweat. So your clothes aren't exactly going to get dirty.
I mean, I suppose that's one advantage.
Elizabeth's intercom system buzzes and you recognise the voice that comes through is Julia. Elizabeth, Car's here. Do you wanna send them down? And I think they have the address, right? Yes, they've got the address. They've got the address. She shuts the intercom off. She looks at you all and claps her hands together. Well, good luck. Try and just be aware of your surroundings. When we're not 100% certain where the anarchs, not the anarchs, we're not exactly certain where the Inquisition are right now. So just be mindful of what you do and say. But the driver should at least be able to take you there and drop you off and potentially come pick you back up again.
Thank you for your help. And he'll bimble on his way out.
Sorry, I just had a note from Grace who was saying her phone is dying. So just bear with whilst we sort that out, otherwise we will lose Grace. We've had enough technical difficulties with Grace for one lifetime, never mind one night. Yeah, so you guys have the note with the address on. As you all exit Elizabeth's room and head back down the stairs and back out onto the main floor, you just see Julia again at the bar, once again just cleaning glasses. You also notice another person there. This time it's a young gentleman who is just tying on his like little bartender pinafore waist thing. And he's kind of like trying to sweep his hair back out of his face. It's kind of like almost like one of those long mop style hairs. I don't know what they're called. He's just kind of like And then Julia takes a hair slide out and she just hands it to him and just goes, "Will you just get your hair cut? Honestly, I'm sick of having to lend you my hair clips. I'm running out." He goes, "Well, look, it's a fashion, okay? Every bartender who has come from my line of bartending has had this hairstyle. Just accept it. Right. And she looks at you all as she goes, bye, have fun. Driver's out front, just get in, hand him the paper. He'll take you right there.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Head on out.
Alex is going to hold back while everyone else starts heading out.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting in the front.
And just, of course she is.
We'll come to Grace in a minute. So so Grace is leaving. Dan and Leah are also leaving.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So you three all go. What is Alexander doing?
Just going to go up to Julia and say, I wasn't able to talk freely with Elizabeth earlier. Can I just give you a message to give her? It's something I want her to look up for me.
Oh, sure, yeah. What is it?
Can you ask her to find out what happened to my lab?
Your lab. Right. Is there a specific name that would help with the search, or should we just search your name and lab?
It would be specifically the experimental chambers in the Bethlehem mental institution.
Right. I imagine they're probably still there, given that they're in Bethlehem, but we'll get it looked up along with the rest of the stuff that we've got going at the moment. So yeah, leave that with me. I will pass it on to Elizabeth and we will see what we can find for you.
Thank you. I just want to see what happens. Thank you very much. And he'll head out.
Have a nice evening.
And get into whatever seat's left.
So Grace gets in the front of the seat, though she may regret that, as you realise your driver is Marcus, the kindred you met from last night. So as Grace gets in the front seat, he just kind of like leans and goes, all right, love. How was your first night? You're still moving.
It was fine, thank you, I suppose.
Good. And I'm assuming the rest of you are all just kind of piling in the back.
Yeah.
So as you all pile in, he just kind of like leans his arm on the back of the chair and looks around and he goes, well, you're all still alive. I'm still alive, metaphorically speaking, of course, because we're all dead, but we're all here. So where am I taking you?
We got a wee note off of Elizabeth and he'll pass forward the address that she gave.
The Grosvenor. Of course, because that's where every kindred likes to stay for some bizarre reason. Well, that's not far. We can take a nice leisurely drive. We don't have to worry. I've not seen a white van tonight, so that's a good start. And he'll lean back around, turns the ignition, and off you go down the road. Are you having a wee chat in the car whilst you were driving? You have about 10 minutes of drive time if you would like to speak amongst yourselves. Anything you would like to divulge?
I think Dad's mostly just kind of like seeing, like keeping an eye out the window, kind of seeing where they are, because he's not altogether familiar with the city he's in. So just kind of doing like the thing that you do like when you're on a taxi ride from like the train station, you're just going, oh, okay, that's where, that's where the Tesco is. Don't need that anymore. Nope,
yes, there's the Tesco. There's the bargain booze. There's the fast food joints. There's the
None
clothes.
of these are relevant anymore, but I know where they are.
There's the nearest fabric shop. You feel called out by this description of a car ride. Okay, so Dan is just taking in the sights, shall we say. What is Leah doing?
Leah is kind of gonna look at Dan and just be like, so you might be meeting the person that made you this way.
Apparently. We'll see how that goes. Clearly they wanted to stick around in the first place. So I'm not imagining there's going to be any particular hard feelings between us all. But to be honest, didn't look like we had much else to kind of be up to. And I'm not that good at cards. So figured it was as good a little exercise for us all. Get out, stretch the undead legs, etc.
It's always interesting to know why you died.
I mean, it happens now. There's not much that can kind of be done about it. And what's the worst that could happen? I die really this time, which, for all anybody knows, has already happened. So, lay on.
I don't think I'd want to meet the person that made me this way. Really don't.
Why are you not wanting to find out?
Because I'd probably do a bit more than punching.
That's fair. I suppose they took your life and transformed you into a creature.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's quite interesting, this whole thing. But I'm mostly curious as to why, and why me, I suppose. I don't think I was on anyone's radar. I don't imagine, well, I can understand Grace, but I don't know why anyone would want to kill Dan.
I wish they'd been a little bit clearer on the poison. That sounds like I've either downed some antifreeze or someone's had... It sounds a lot more extreme than work-related incident. I'm like, oh yeah, he's fallen on some shears. Like, it happens. Hit by a car, I would have taken. Even it might pushing for had a heart attack, but wasn't really thinking poisoning.
Well, I certainly didn't commit suicide, obviously.
I would say I assume because you're here, but I don't really know how any of this works, and I don't think I'm going to anytime soon.
Well, at least we don't have to worry about garlic.
There's that. You can't eat it either.
That is a shame.
But you don't need to be avoiding it.
I'm going to miss Italian food.
Well, it looked like there was a nice wee place a couple of blocks back as well. Oh well.
Grace is just going to turn around and just be like, well, as lovely as this conversation is, what exactly is it you all did as jobs?
I was a florist.
I was a psychologist.
I'm seeing the suicide pattern there. Florist, I don't know, maybe a poisonous plant?
Yeah, but nobody's gonna... Well, how much of it would... You don't accidentally poison yourself with a plant. You would need to, like, go to town on really eating... You would need to really get stuck in. Like, you don't just, like, brush up against it and all of a sudden, you know, you've caught your death of whatever. No.
Well, I'm sorry, I don't know much about plants. Normally my florist just delivers them and puts them in place and that's it.
I was a security guard, in case you couldn't tell, yesterday.
It wasn't that much of a shock for yours.
But I'm kind of worried about my client because the type of security that I did is what's called close protection. So it doesn't really surprise me that I would have been killed on the line of duty, but I'm worried about her.
I mean, also, they could all just be literally made up
Oh yeah, but 100%.
by
Your
someone.
your deaths are made up, guys.
Well, I knew they were made up because clearly we're here and we're not vampires.
I suppose it would have messed with their little secrecy thing if they put death by vampire in the papers after all.
Oh, we never actually asked how long ago we all died.
That is a fair point.
Put it on the list. We'll try and find out when we get back. Because presumably if they found a registry, there'll be dates on it.
Yeah, Elizabeth will have that sort of thing. Won't worry too much about it. We're nearly there. That's the crossing over there. And Marcus kind of just drives up in front of it. He just turns the engine, goes, right, you have no way of contacting me if you want a pickup, so I really hope you did pay attention to how you got here, because you're probably going to have to find your own way back. Or hope that's whoever you're going to speak to has a car that will take you back to the club.
I'm sure we could just about work it out.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Out of character question, dear
Yes.
storyteller, did that address have a room number or a name on it?
It just said the bar at the Grosvenor.
Oh, the bar. So presumably there's someone stoating about. Cool.
Yeah.
It was just, it literally just said the Grosvenor. I'm like, cool.
The Grosvenor. Just find out yourselves. You know, you'll figure it out. It said the bar at the Grosvenor.
Is it like some kind of spidey sense that's gonna walk into the room
And he's gonna know.
immediately?
He's just gonna know who his sire is. Just like the creator. No, it's not how it works. I mean, actually,
Careless Whisper doesn't start playing when you walk into the room.
Technically, if we're going to be real technical, kind of a little bit does. There is kind of a little bit of a bond that you would technically be able to feel on.
Yeah, but Dan wouldn't know that.
Dan indeed will not know that. But it's fine because you have a place within the hotel.
Cool. Right, let's all unfold ourselves from the back of this.
I'm going to gracefully get out.
Gracefully. There's no upskirt panty shot for Grace.
Thank God.
You want to see it? It's beautiful.
God.
I'm good, thanks.
Nah.
Is this the disturbing imagery that you disclose at the start?
These are the scenes that you may find upsetting.
Disturbing. Yeah, into the bar, into the Grosvenor, into the bar, into the Grosvenor, into the bar.
So as you all exit Marcus's car, he as you shut the door, he kind of looks and goes, "See you later, kiddos. Have fun. Don't die." And speeds off into the night. As you turn around and look at the front of the Grosvenor Hotel, it is very fancy looking. It's got those lovely fake marble pillar columns at the front, and the Grosvenor is wrote in very fancy curvature gold writing. It looks like a 5-star hotel with its wonderful little red carpet as you come to the doors. And there is obviously like a doorman, even though they're like rotatey doors, there's a doorman on the outside.
Do we still look like we've been hit by a convoy of trucks?
I don't.
I don't believe so, because I don't think any of you took any damage. So you should.
I was just more thinking the fact that, you know, we'd been lying on the floor of a meat fridge for an undisclosed amount of time.
Well, you've had 24 hours essentially, and you've had we'll class as a long rest.
We stood up in the wrinkles and stuff of slowly falling out.
Yeah, being kindred, you don't get the same sort of like wear and tear that you would do as a human. So you're not likely to get wrinkles, for example, because your body has stopped aging. You know, you don't sweat, you don't breathe, you don't have tears. Though if you do cry, you will have blood coming out of your eyes. So
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, but otherwise, you still look relatively human. You haven't quite gotten to the stage of looking 100% like a corpse.
Yeah.
As nights progress, you will start paling in complexion, and that's when you would have to start using the Blush of Life ability that Elizabeth told you last night. If you want, you can use it now just to be on the safe side, but that is entirely up to you guys.
That's what I was going to say, is I would like to
Blush of Life.
Use that. And I need to, what do I roll for that?
You roll one of your blood die, and you tell me if it's a success or a fail.
That is a 7.
A 7, so that is a success, so you don't get hungrier, and the life essentially comes back in your cheeks, so you have a nice rosy complexion.
Woo.
Is anyone else following suit, or are you all just heading into the hotel now?
Is going to attempt to try and remember how to do it.
Okay.
Because I don't think she actually did it last time. So that should be interesting. Oh, that's a 7. That's a success. Yay.
Okay, so yeah, once again, colour flushes to your cheeks. You look alive.
Ooh.
Alexander likes looking like this. He's happy.
he likes looking not quite like a corpse, but on his way to corpsing.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's quite happy with that.
He's a happy chappy. Okay. So again, as I've said, you have the front of the hotel, and as you walk through the rotating doors, the doorman doesn't really pay you any attention. He doesn't like nod or smile or anything. He's just stood there. I think he's obviously waiting for some form of instruction, or for maybe somebody to pull up in the limousine and for them to open the door. That sort of situation. As you walk into the front of the Vosnova, you've got the main reception desk straight ahead of you, which is made out of a mahogany wood, and there is it's very light in here. Everything is very bright. You've got lovely marble floors. You've got chandeliers. Again, it's that very high class hotel, which obviously you're going to have people who have impeccable taste, shall we say, walking around. So the kind that are walking around are people in suits, and I wouldn't say like fancy dresses, but obviously dressed like they're going to Ladies' Day, for example. That sort of level of fashion. You can see to the left-hand side of the entrance is what looks to be the bar area. And on the right-hand side, you have what looks to be maybe a small restaurant.
I'm going to head on to the bar.
Everyone following suit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So, hopefully this works. I have no idea, but we'll see. So, the bar is as beautiful and trendy as the rest of the hotel. Kindred and ghouls alike canoodling on couches as they overlook the glittering lights outside. The bartender lives only to make sure that everyone gets what they desire. Half a dozen other ghouls wearing all black clothing and earpieces are keeping an eye out for trouble. As you walk into this bar and cast your eyes around on the scene before you, Dan, your gaze just stops on an older gentleman who is in a suit, a dark navy suit. He's got very nice sort of combed back short grey hair, and he's got a very well trimmed grey beard. He looks quite kind, shall we say, and he sort of lifts his gaze up from the newspaper he's reading, and his eyes lock with yours, and you can see them widen ever so slightly. And he just kind of does this to you.
In for a penny, in for a pound, I guess. And you'll just head straight across.
Do you want us accompanying you, or should we give you some space?
Doesn't bother me.
Fantastic, because I'm curious, and I'll follow Dan. But also, I'd like to look around the room and see if there's... Is it all vampiric people here, or are there humans as well?
It looks like it's all vampires.
Okay, cool.
I'll head over to Vampire Santa Claus.
Call him Vampire Santa Claus.
Tell me that's not what you described.
He's Vampire George Clooney.
He's Vampire George. Okay. You said he looked kindly. I was like, oh.
George Clooney is kind looking.
Okay. Vampire George Clooney. Jeez.
I was picturing someone more jolly than as well.
You were thinking rounded.
No, like you know the fat like Instagram Santa. Like,
so you were thinking of someone round and jolly.
No, you know what? Stuff it. Go for it.
So Vampire George Clooney.
Vampire George Clooney.
Vampire George Clooney sees you all walking over, and he folds his newspaper very methodically. He puts it down on the table, and he stands. He brushes his suit down. And he just stands there and waits for you to get closer. And as soon as you're closer, he opens his arms in a hug-like gesture. I am not going to attempt to do smooth, seductive older gentleman. That is not happening.
No, please.
No.
Go on.
No. Ruin it for everyone. I cannot. My prodigal child returns. I had no doubt we'd meet again. You are of strong blood, of course. Be welcome, you and your companions. What can I get for you?
That's just Dan's face right there.
His arms are still out, like, waiting for you to come give him a hug, essentially, or at least come close.
I woke up in a meat fridge.
Yes, I've please take a seat.
He'll take a seat.
Can I get you and your friends something to drink, perhaps?
I think we're okay at the moment.
Okay. I had heard that you had woken up in a strange situation. I assure you that was not what I had intended for you. I can only apologize for my failures as your sire for allowing you to fall into such a situation.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not sure how this is supposed to go. Last 24 hours have been particularly odd. I don't think I've ever seen you in my life. But apparently you ended mine. So I'm here now, and would love to know what the hell you thought you were doing.
I had apologies for this sounding disturbingly creepy. It will come off as such, but I had been watching you for a while, and I had sensed a capability within you that I felt might be useful to the Camarilla. I could sense potential, as do most who sire children. They choose their targets because they believe that they can become something better than perhaps previous generations. That was my thought for you, Daniel.
You're right. There was probably a less creepy way you could have said that. So you watched me for an upsettingly undisclosed amount of time and then was just like, yeah, let's get this guy in on board. He seems like the Camarilla short of people to arrange flowers for them, or?
It wasn't for your flower arranging abilities that I had turned you. It was more for your mind. I had seen that you had quite a intelligent background.
I dabbled in the past, but it lost some of its flair.
You studied biology, did you not?
I did indeed.
And I believe you also studied botany, which is why you became a florist, yes?
Yes.
I had a feeling that perhaps your abilities could be used for the Camarilla in such a way as perhaps something akin to alchemy, or potentially, if with the right training, blood sorcery.
Like, I know you've clearly been what we all are now for a wee while. But you have to understand how absolutely buck wild that sounds.
Yes, it will sound buck wild. For quite some time, these pieces of information plague the mind of kindred who have been around for decades still. I wasn't expecting you to just up and accept what had happened with ease. Nobody ever does. But I was hoping that perhaps now that I had found you, you would be willing to come with me and begin your training.
Well, I suppose if there's going to be a
Sorry,
prolonged excursion, you were following me for long enough, apparently. Do you know what happened to my snakes?
Ah, yes, your snakes. And he leans down, and you did not notice this before, but he leans down and he just picks up this like little container, shall we call it? Is it, one of those little plastic containers? And he just picks it up by the handle and just plops on the table. I believe this belongs to you.
He is like immensely happy. He's like got the top of it off, and inside would be two little corn snakes. One is called Flump and the other is called Raspberry, and they are the best.
So precious.
And he kind of like gives him a wee boop. He's like, yeah, sure, if you've got my snakes, then I'm more than happy to widen our horizons. Why not? It's not like I've got anything else to be doing right now.
I can take you with me. I am actually en route to an Elysium down in Sheffield. This was my stopover after I was informed of your, resurfacing. I had actually, I'm not sure if you're aware, I assume you are aware of the date.
Not a clue.
It has been several months since I actually turned you. Since I gave you the embrace. You were taken from me when I was not able to protect. And then from there, I'm not sure what had happened, but given what I have been told, and this is only your second night as a kindred, I can only presume that you had been kept in a state of torpor so that you weren't able to have your new life.
I'm going to be honest, don't really know how any of it works yet, but I'm presuming you'll share or I'll learn. Hopefully a bit of both.
If you do come with me, then yes, I will teach you everything that I know. The Camarilla can be very useful in teaching and allowing you to learn information that you may not be privy to if you were part of the Anarchs. And he says it with such disgust. You can just see disgust rippling on the word Anarch, essentially.
I don't know what the whole fight is about, but didn't catch what we were supposed to be calling you.
You mean me specifically?
Yes.
Yes, I suppose I haven't actually formally
Introduce
introduced
yourself.
myself. I apologize. Sorry, I was just so happy to see you well, shall we say, rather than alive. My name is Archie.
Archie.
Yes.
Well,
I wouldn't
thank you for
recommend
looking
using...
after... And he kind of holds up the two snakies. Thank you for looking after these two.
It is my pleasure. I was aware of how precious they were to you. I did not want you to start a new life without them.
But yeah, no, sounds not much need for flower arranging. Guess I can dust off the old brain cells and see what I can do for you.
Good. And he looks to the rest of you and says, I apologize, but I would not be able to take you three with me. My sole purpose is to teach Daniel. You will have to find your either own sires or other kindred who would be willing to teach you the ways.
I mean, it's okay if I met my sire who had creepily stalked me for several months. Don't think I'd be taking it as well as he is.
Not got really much of a choice, have we?
It's not necessarily the same situation that I had with Daniel, your sire, for all I know. And he looks you up and down and just kind of goes, for all we know, your sire just merely attacked you because you were in the way of a meal.
Oh, I gotta love fancy racism.
Racists on a Tuesday, racism on a Wednesday. You just can't win, can you?
Every time.
Every time.
It's kind of like...
You can make an insight if you so wish to make an insight. You will have to roll your wits and insight. So that would be 6 minus your 1 for your blood dice, which you replace.
6 minus 1 for blood dice.
Yeah, so roll 5 black and 1 red.
4 successes and 2 blank.
Okay, what is it you are trying to get without killing yourself in real life?
Does he actually seem like he's being honest, or like?
Yep,
Does he seem like he's gonna cause like harm?
Nope, he is 100% honest. He is 100% grateful that Dan is okay, and he seems very happy that Dan is willing to go with him and essentially accept being trained by him in the ways of the Tremere.
Well, interesting. Okay, so that's, I mean, it's all good for you, Dan. I'm glad you've got a bit more of a purpose now. Blood magic sounds interesting. Magic in general, I didn't know was a thing. So that's yes.
I mean, whatever, kindred, all that nonsense, that's a thing. So it seems as likely as anything at this point.
Yeah, I think I'm beyond questioning a lot of these things now. I guess I'm just a little bit jealous.
I'm sure whatever happened to you will at some point come to light. I've no idea, quite frankly. But I'm assuming from what Archie you're saying, nobody ever really intentionally turns someone and then faffs off. So
It is rather rare. It does happen, but it is rare. And he actually looks to you, Alexander, and he looks you up and down for a minute. Where are you from, young one?
London. I was in London, which apparently is a strange thing since it has fallen.
Yes. The fall of London was a few years ago, which means either you were turned before the fall and held in torpor until recently, which I find rather hard to believe, or there are still kindred lurking around in London, which again I find rather hard to believe given that most of the kindred fled and have found refuge in other cities. I can keep an ear out, shall we say, and see if there are any talkings of kindred within London who may possibly either be your sire or know where your sire is. By chance, do you know which clan you are of?
Clan Malkavian, apparently.
I see, yes. That might make it a bit more difficult, but I will try my best to find out who has done this to you. Tell me what job did you have? That might also help. Although guessing from Malkavian, I can narrow it down to a fair few.
I was a psychologist at Bethlehem Asylum.
This is useful information. I will see if I can find out anything when I attend Elysium in Sheffield. There are a few kindred who fled London and made their way to Sheffield. So somebody there might know of a Malkavian who has ties to the asylum. And then Archie looks to you, Grace. And you, dear girl, where are you from?
I'm from London as well.
Another Londoner. And what was your position?
I worked in the London Museum. I worked as head of antiquities.
A very upstanding job. Do you know of which clan you are? I'm assuming since this one knows his, I'm assuming you know yours.
I was told it was the Ministry.
An interesting clan. There aren't that many ministry running about. Yours might be very difficult to pin down.
Surely if there's less of them, it'd be easier. Less people to speak to.
You'd be surprised because there's less of them. They don't tend to make themselves known unless you are in a certain circle.
What do you mean by circle?
Kindred of the Ministry believe that the god Set is their true creator.
Oh, come on.
They refer to themselves as Setites. They have recently rebranded to the Ministry.
It's got a better ring to it.
Yeah, I quite like the name change. Do you know what would be a good place to start?
Well, let's see here. It is possible that there might be a Church of Set knocking around. Maybe find somebody who can find that information out. The Nosferatu are rather good at digging up information. Now be careful. All information comes at a cost, something we call boons. Information you seek may cost you a minor boon or a major one. It depends on what the information costs them to get. So just be wary of that.
Is a boon like a favour?
It is.
See, this is going to be a very difficult one then.
Bargaining is the Nosferatu's favourite thing to do.
I wonder if maybe I can find out the info I need from the club.
Oh yes, Elizabeth's club. She may have somebody who can find out the information, and it might not cost you anything. But like I say, if it is a Nosferatu, it is likely to cost somebody a boon. And Archie just finally turns his gaze to you, Leah. And you, my dear, I can smell the bruja rolling off you, even if you don't actually have a scent. But where are you from?
From Manchester.
Oh, well, I do feel sorry for you. Manchester is in control of Prince Donald. He rules that city with an iron fist, so whoever your sire is probably did it out of spite. Donald has been at war with the Anarchs for over 2 decades at this point. Whoever your sire was probably hoping that he would cause enough trouble to possibly breach the masquerade.
Oh, that's the thing where we keep everything hidden, yes?
Correct. I do hope that somebody explained the traditions of the masquerade to you.
Yes, we
yes.
understand.
Did they explain fully the traditions of the masquerade?
From what I remember.
Ish.
Ish. You're saying that you have ish been introduced to our highest level of security.
It's been a busy 24 hours.
Did somebody explain to you the 6 traditions of kindred society?
No.
This is something you should be aware of. One of them is the masquerade, which you have mentioned you have been told-ish. The second one is the domain. The domain is what is referred to as the area in control by the prince, for example. The third tradition is the progeny. And that is to do with the population of an area. If an area of kindred becomes too overpopulated, it is likely to breach the masquerade. Too many kindred in an area means too much feeding on kine leads to trouble. So just be aware of that one. The fourth tradition is the accounting.
Like money?
No, not like money. Yes, the accounting is the money.
Good to say no one told me we had to pay for a membership.
No. The accounting is what sires are responsible for. So if a sire makes a child, for example, myself embracing Daniel, I am accountable for his actions until he is deemed educated enough that he can be left on his own devices. Sires who embrace and don't look after their child or their fledglings could be put to a blood hunt. The fifth tradition is the tradition of hospitality. It's a fairly standard one. If you are in another prince's domain, you must make yourself known to that prince within the given time of a week, although it is generally polite to make your presence known immediately upon entering a prince's domain. Respect the ruler, and they will grant you their hospitality. And it's better to be on their good side than their bad side. You don't want to have a run-in with the sheriff.
Oh God, there's vampire cops as well.
Yes, there are vampire cops, dear boy. They are called the sheriffs. Well, there's generally just one who was in charge, but the sheriff might have kindred working under them who help. But it is generally the sheriff's job to carry out the rulings, uphold the law of the domain of the prince. And finally, the sixth tradition is destruction. The destruction of our own kind is not well received. So for example, if I were to end a kindred in this room's life without having the express permission of the prince of the domain, granted there is no prince of this domain, but if for a moment we believe there were, if I killed another kindred with no good reason or permission to do so, my own life would be forfeit. Worse still, if I was to consume the life force of that kindred in what we call diablerie, it would be a far worse punishment. Those are the 6 traditions that kindred society upholds. Do well to remember them, and for the love of everything dear to yourselves. Don't go
It's gravy
and break.
time.
You would not like the results.
I'll consider us informed.
As Archie finishes explaining the traditions to you, a tall, slender, blonde-haired woman with a notepad comes stalking towards Archie, and she just leans down and whispers in his ear, and pulls back and walks away. Seems we may have a small situation. And we are going to find out what that situation is after we take a small 10 to 15 minute break. So thank you very much, everyone who is tuned in and watching. It's great that you are doing so. Stick around so that you can see what happens in the second half of this wonderful session 2. We'll see what sort of mischief our 4 fledglings are going to get themselves into next. So we'll be back in 10, tops 15 minutes. Bye-bye. Hello, hopefully you should be able to hear us. We are now back from our break. We have refreshed ourselves. We are raring to go and finish this little this little adventure to the Grosvenor Hotel. I know every time I say that now, Luca's gonna hate me, and I don't care because it's my world and I say it's the Grosvenor. Deal with it. If you are just tuning in, welcome. This is our starter campaign for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. If you're still here, you've been watching since the beginning, thank you. We really appreciate the support. We shall go back to the scene we were at just before break, which was the tall blonde lady had come to Archie and whispered in his ear, and he had turned to you all and says, it looks like we have ourselves a small situation. Would you care to follow me, please? And he kind of stands back up and he starts walking towards tall blonde lady who was just kind of on the other side, like at the side of the bar, just off in the distance, just before a set of double push doors. You all following? Yep.
Following.
Okay. So you all follow Archie, who is following this blonde lady. You go through the double set of doors and you walk into what looks like another bar, but it is slightly smaller. It looks like it could be used in relation to like a wedding reception sort of situation.
Kind of function room kind of
function
thing.
room, yeah, that sort of thing. He takes you down to the bottom end of the room and through a single door. And in this single room is a small 2-seater couch and a 3-seater couch, small coffee table. It's dimly lit, like not super dim. It's just there's a like 2 lamps on essentially, so there's enough light, but it's not as bright as, say, the reception area, which was
Not
super
got
bright.
the big light on.
It's not got the big light on, right? Conserving energy. On the coffee table is a laptop, and it's kind of angled so that if you were to sit on the 3-seater sofa and the 2-seater sofa, you would be able to see it. As Archie opens the door, he just motions for you all to walk in. It seems that it seems that a recording has been found of yourselves. This could be quite a situation. This is, and he gestures to tall blonde lady. This is Alison. She is essentially my PA, let's call her. She's what's classed as a ghoul. She works for me and she gets the benefits of protection and some other things that you will learn, especially you, Daniel, as you accompany me through your training. Alison...
She certainly doesn't look ghoulish. What's a ghoul?
A ghoul is simply a kind who is aware of our existence. They work for us, and in return, they are fed our blood. Our blood gives them not all of the benefits that a kindred does, but they certainly have enhanced hearing, sight, smell, strength. These are the people who protect us when we are unable to protect ourselves. For example, when we go to sleep. For in the daytime, you can't protect yourself. So it's best to have someone you can trust to do it for you. Alison is one of these people. I have several ghouls who protect me. My driver, for example, is a ghoul. Alison is my PA. I have bodyguards who are also ghouls. They are able to perform tasks that I cannot.
Fair enough.
Does
Makes
that
sense.
satisfy your question?
Yes, it does.
I thought the whole thing about the masquerade was that we weren't supposed to tell humans what we are.
We're not. You are correct. We are not supposed to tell humans what we are. There is a, let's call it a slight loophole when it comes to Gould kindred. Generally, you'll find that Gould kine are descendants of other kine who have either previously been Gould or are aware of our situation.
So it's like the family business to protect the kindred.
Yes, something akin to that. The masquerade has not always been a thing. In fact, long time ago, long before even I was embraced, kindred were viewed, in some places they were viewed as gods. They were revered or feared. It's only in recent decades that we have had to hide ourselves away.
That makes sense, I guess.
As I have said, Alison here has found a recording. Please, if you will sit, then she will start the recording.
Okay.
Take the seat.
Sit down.
As you all sit down in front of the computer screen, Alison just leans over and she presses the mouse button on the trackpad, and a video starts. The video is short and looks rough, but you can clearly see yourselves depicted in it. It shows you wandering around the walk-in freezer of the restaurant you'd fled last night. It begins as you walk up and rose to your feet and breaks off a few seconds later. These moments are shown in a repeating loop, which Alison allows to loop for a few iterations. She pauses the video and increases the lighting in the room to discuss it. So as she pauses it, she kind of like has a button and she presses it, and you notice that the side lamps go off and the big light comes on. And she looks at you all as she puts the remote sort of like in her breast pocket of her blouse. She looks at you all and says, one of our operatives, by our operatives, I mean other ghouls that work for Sir Archie, managed to get a hold of this recording. I believe that it's from the Inquisition that have been following you for. I'm fairly confident that they have the original version of it. It might be a wise decision if we get that retrieved and destroyed. We don't want it falling into the wrong hands. Also, if we can possibly remove the Inquisition from the equation, that would at least secure your, well, your safety for a bit longer.
Not all of us look bad in that video. Not all of us are doing strange things. We woke up in a freezer.
Yes, but this is only part of a recording. It's not the full thing. We don't know what the rest of the recording holds.
If it's the rest of the freezer, it is getting a hook, opening the door, and leaving. As far as I'm aware, none of us did anything bad.
Yes, but that is just what you remember. We don't know what happened before that.
Also, if we can get our hands on more of the video, we might be able to see the faces of the people who put us in there.
Correct. Though I am fairly confident that it was members of the Inquisition, we have been informed that they are lurking around in this area.
We were followed by them a few nights ago as well, when we escaped that freezer.
We don't know why they're following you specifically. We don't know how they got their hands on you. It could possibly be that they were using you for experimentation reasons or as a bargaining chip. But we don't know until we start with perhaps obtaining the full recording. No, she's just kind of like sat on the arm of the sofa next to you all, and you just kind of, yes, it would be wise if we at least destroyed it so that it doesn't fall into other hands. Whilst the Inquisition are one thing, we don't want it falling into other organizations, shall we say.
There's something worse than the Inquisition out there. I was under the impression that they were kind of the ones that hated us the most.
You would be correct. What I mean by other organization is I mean local government who may use it to spark some form of attack by the kind. It's one thing having the Inquisition on our tails, but those we can deal with. They're not many in number. Having an entire country of kine hunt you down, that is something that would be difficult for us to deal with. And it would also mean our feeding habits would vanish with it.
Okay, high stakes. Good to know.
Do you know whereabouts it was that we were held? Maybe we start there.
Well, looking from this footage, a restaurant. I couldn't tell you which restaurant. I'm not from around here.
Would Marcus know?
Marcus, and he just looks at you inquisitively.
He's the rude Broja gentleman that picked us up from the restaurant, so surely he would know its location?
If he picked you up from the restaurant, then I would assume he would know the location. Do you have a way of contacting this Marcus?
Oh, that would make too much sense.
Of course.
Well, do you have any idea from your sources where we might go in order to find who has these videos?
I'm not entirely sure where, and then he looks at Alison. Alison, did they tell you at all where they got this video from, or? And she just kind of shakes her head. No, sorry. They just said they'd acquired it, sir, but they never explicitly said from where. That is concerning, because that could mean it came from a number of sources. Perhaps talking to this Marcus that you've spoken of would be a good start. You said he picked you up from the restaurant that is in this video, yes?
Yes.
And I take it he's the one who dropped you off at Dear Elizabeth's club, yes?
Indeed.
So I would recommend perhaps going back to Elizabeth and asking Elizabeth to get hold of Marcus. If she is the person who has contact with him the most, then she would be able to get a hold of him.
That makes sense. I agree that we need to get hold of that footage.
If we don't get a hold of the full footage, it could be a huge breach of the masquerade.
Well, does anyone know the way back to the club?
Just about. I could probably remember most of the things we passed on the way.
That's good to know.
Why not just call a taxi?
And
Oh, you
pay with it
don't.
with what?
You don't have to worry about getting a taxi. I will ask for one of my drivers to take you back.
Thank you.
That is not a problem. Alison, dear, can you call for one of the drivers, please? Tell him to send the limousine round.
What would be the best way of getting back in touch with yourself, Archie?
I will be staying here for another few nights, so if you wish to get in contact, and he just kind of pulls a business card from here inside of his suit jacket. This is a number you can call me on. If you call, simply state that you are my child, and you will be put through.
Noted. You'll pocket the card.
If you head out to the front lobbyway, the driver should be pulling round any moment now. Just tell him where it is you need to go. If you don't know the exact location, he might be able to figure it out himself. He's quite good at finding his way around, especially without a sat-nav.
Andy. We'll thank him for his time and head on out.
So you all head back out to the front lobby and back through the spinning doors onto the main road. And in front of you is a black limousine. It's not massively long. It's like medium size. It's got a front bit and then the bit in the middle. So there's like a seat, which essentially is backing the front driver's seat and then the other seat. And there is a gentleman who has stood, and he is dressed in a very nice black suit with a little black cabbie hat on, essentially, and he's holding a door open. And he doesn't look at you, he just kind of like, he's holding the door and he's slightly bowed.
Thank you. Oh, should go on in.
Bit more room in here.
Bit more room, stretch your legs a bit. Oh look, there's like a little mini fridge just sat.
We're not all like Tetris packed in.
No, you're not. It's not Marcus's car. You're safe. You're safe.
There are little bottles of blood in the mini fridge.
No, unfortunately not. It's
Aw.
just there for decoration. It's got real alcohol in it, but it's just there for decoration. I wouldn't recommend drinking it. So as you all get into the car, the driver just shuts the door behind you and he climbs into the front seat and he starts pulling off from the hotel. As you drive down the main road, he turns to you and just goes, "Where is it you would like to go, sir?"
I give him the name of the club.
Is this symposium?
Symposium or something.
The
Symposium.
It's pretty close.
It's pretty close. We'll give you that. He just looks at you in the rear mirror and he, "Right you are, sir," and drives off. So as you're driving down the main road, is there anything you would like to discuss in the car?
So you just met the person who killed you. And you handled that very calmly, Dan.
What else was there to do?
I mean,
what was my alternative? I could have had a wee toddler fit in the middle of the bar. I could have, but what would that have achieved? I could have got angry, but what would that have achieved? This way,
I happen to agree.
my snakes back, and I've got something to pass however long I am this thing as. So looks like it could be worse.
No, I agree. I think you handled that incredibly well. I don't think everyone would handle it so smoothly, but I think you did a very good job.
I feel like you might be using your psychologist powers on me a wee bit here, but I'll take it as a compliment.
Oh no, I assure you it was. I'd like to imagine I'd handle it a very similar way. Everything that has been done has already been done. There's nothing we can do about it now. We may as well learn all we can, and I think you're in a good position for that.
We'll just need to try and work out how on earth, because it sounded suspiciously like we were trying to get this footage back, which feels like we're probably not the most well equipped for it, but I suppose it's our heads that are on the line first and foremost. So
I mean, if I wasn't technically dead, and for however long we've been dead for, I probably know a guy, but I'm dead. Funny feeling if I start ringing him up, he's going to be like, "Why are you ringing me? You're dead."
It's likely.
As you are talking, you can hear the gold driver in the front of the car just look into the rear mirror and go, shit. And then you notice the car starts to accelerate ever so slightly.
If I were to look out the back window, would I see a white van by any
You
chance?
do indeed see a white van.
Son of a bitch.
The white van that was chasing you the previous night is following behind the limousine, and they are gaining in speed. The driver of your limousine puts his foot down, but the limousine doesn't seem to be going any faster. Whilst it is a nice car, it's not a very particularly fast car. So as he's driving, he's kind of like, he's glancing at the front of the road, and then he's glancing in the rearview mirror. Shit, I'm not going to be able to lose them. Sir, I'm not going to be able to lose them here. You're going to have to shoot at them.
Leah just kind of looks it down and goes, "It's a good thing I brought the pistol."
Yes, because unless I've suddenly acquired mind bullets, then I'm not going to be any ruddy help to you.
As you say that, Dan, driver looks up in the rearview mirror and he clocks his eyes to you and he goes, "Sir, if you look under your seat, there should be another pistol."
He'll look under his seat, he'll, I guess, find a pistol and just be like, "You're correct, there is indeed another pistol."
Yep, it's there for such reasons as this, sir. Can't shoot at them here, though. We're going to have to try and pull them away to somewhere quiet. What do you want to do, sir?
I guess go somewhere quiet and not have us all die horrifically.
Would you like me to go to the under the main motorway, sir?
If that's what you would usually do in this kind of situation, then power on.
Understood, sir. And he's like, you can see there's almost like a sweat to his head as he's like driving. He's like, fucking hell. The white van that is behind you it's getting closer to the point where it looks like it's going to ram the back of the car, but it kind of pulls away ever so slightly. And then it looks like it's going to ram again. It pulls back slowly. They're teasing you.
Turns out it's just a Hermes delivery van. Just like an asshole.
Being shit. Fucking Hermes.
Are you sure we're not in London? I'm certainly driving like it.
Beautiful. So Your limousine driver drives to the underbridge that you were at last night with Marcus. And he sort of very coolly, shall we say, spins the car, right? So that it turns and it is now face to face with the white limo. And he...
On the way, Leah's like, sort of going down, do you know how to use the gun at all?
No, I was hoping one of the other two would take it off me, quite frankly, and the time that he's kind of like literally sat holding it like this.
Yeah.
Leah kind of like shows him the real basics as fast as you can in like a 5-minute journey of this is how you take the safety off, this is how you, and like...
Don't point it at yourself, don't point it at anyone you don't want it to kill. Right, can do. Alexander, you sure you don't suddenly remember taking gunmanship as a child in some strange place where I'm sure you went to school? No?
No, not at all.
No,
I can drive pretty well, but I can't fire a gun.
You sure? Okay. Grace, nothing flashing back to you?
I mean, if you're going to be a baby about it, I'll take it off you.
No, just in case one of you had some well, I don't know your lives. You might have done this before. Apparently not. Okay. Let's try not die. I'm sorry. That last bit is more aimed at the poor girl driver.
Right, he just looks at you and goes, "It's all right, sir. We're trained for these sort of situations."
Maybe you should fire the gun then.
I'm not permitted to use the gun when there are higher ups who need it more.
Huh. Well, it looks like the florist is taking aim instead. Fantastic. You've got this. I'm sure you can do this, Dan.
You need to work on your pep talks, Alexander. But I think they're gaining on us. So yes, I think this is
just
what
need
we'll
to point and aim and fire, and you'll be fine. That's all you need to do.
As the car has pulled up underneath the bridge and turned around and stopped, the van has also stopped in front of you. Their front beamer lights are at full blast and blinding towards you guys. Your ghoul driver just kind of pushes a button and the door to the side of you opens up, and he looks at you all and goes, I think you'll be fine. I don't think these are higher inquisitors.
Leah straight out. Going first.
Stepping out of the white van are 2 men and 1 woman. They are all dressed in what looks like black tactical gear, and they all have guns on them, and they are pointing towards the car, and they're just the tallest of the 2 guys, who's in the middle, is pointing the gun, and he's just shouting, "Get out the car! Get out the car now!"
He looks at who would be essentially the closest and the best to aim at, essentially. So whoever's like kind of tactically best to try and aim at. I'm just gonna try and shoot them.
They are all stood essentially in a line. They're not any further forward. They haven't tactically put themselves into a maneuver. They're just all in front of you in a line with their guns forward. You have the taller gentleman in the middle, shorter gentleman to his left-hand side, and the woman to the right-hand side. All in black tactical gear. They all look exactly the same.
She kind of just aims for the person in the middle because they're blocking essentially where they want to go. So she just kind of aims and is like, "I've got a gun as well. Put down your weapon."
And they just still looking at you with their gun, and they go, "We have 3 guns and you have 1. Put the gun down, put your hands on your head and down on the ground, corpse."
Alexander's gonna... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
She's gonna aim at his kneecaps, the person in the middle. And just try and shoot his kneecaps.
Okie dokie. Can you rule me
Oh,
your... Might help if I actually get the right feckin' sheet up, mightn't it? Boom. Oh, yes. Can you roll me your firearms and dexterity, please?
Dexterity and
With your
so
blood
that'd be
dice.
6 plus 1 blood dice. Okay, cool. Oh, oh god, okay. That's not going to be good. We have 3 successes, but we have 3 1s.
Ooh. Where are your ones located?
Not on the blood dice.
Not on the blood dice. That is fine. As long as they're not on your blood dice, it doesn't matter. If they were on your blood dice, another story. But you are absolutely fine. So what was your successes? Sorry.
3.
3. Okie dokie. Let me just double check. Because I'm going to be honest, whenever I've played Vampire and I've done combat, none of us generally use guns. So that's fun for us. That's hand-to-hand combat. I don't want hand-to-hand. Okay, where is dodge? Dodge, dodge, dodge. Dodge, dodge, dodge. It's somewhere on this piece of paper. Apologies, whilst I just look for dodge. And what I roll for dodge. In the meantime, here's a cat.
There's a cat.
Do you know what? I looked at this earlier and I was like, ah, yes, dodge. Nope, not now. Okay.
That's because it hit them.
That's 'cause it hit
so
them.
good
It
that
hit them
they
so
all
good.
dropped their guns and
Yeah.
it was fine.
Yeah. But we'll see if. What were your successes? Sorry.
3.
3. 2, 3. Okay, so you shoot your gun, and your bullet just grazes past where you were aiming to shoot.
Pretty good considering she's only ever shot in the rifle.
Yeah. So yeah, your shot just misses. It just skirts past his leg.
Oh boy.
When that happens, they look at you and.
Can anybody guess what just happened?
Technical difficulties. Our cat is an absolute dickhead and likes to jump onto the computer desk where we have very shoddily put together a rig because Grace's computer just died today. Good job. Okay, so the one that you shot at, seeing the bullet just graze past him, will return fire on you. Got this sheet. Which one did you fire at? Sorry, was it the one in the middle?
One in the middle, yeah.
One in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Are you doing anything to try and move out of the way?
You'd probably notice that it's obviously kind of missed, and essentially like, maybe try and use like the limousine as cover, kind of like duck down behind it.
Well, it's okay because he only got 1 success, so regardless, he's going to shoot at you, but he's going to go wide. He goes straight over your head.
God.
As he does that, he just goes, "That was a warning shot. I'm warning you. Get on the fucking ground."
Have we got anything?
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Grace.
I'm going to get out of the car slowly with my hands up. And I'm going to be like, I'm really sorry. Just ignore the bodyguard. She's a little bit good and happy.
Are you trying to persuade them? What are you doing? I'm just
kind of like surrendering.
You're surrendering. Cool. Again, the one in the middle just looks at you and goes, "You must be fucking dumb, you absolute shithead. You're a corpse. Get on the ground. Last warning."
You have to be kidding me. I'm not lying on this dirty floor.
And he shoots at you.
Goodbye, Grace. It's nice knowing you.
Oh dear me. Okay, so he gets a 2. No, he doesn't. He gets a 3. So let me just double check. Yeah, because you were too busy running your mouth out.
Yeah.
You don't. So you take 3 superficial damage, which is reduced half because it's superficial damage. So you only take it's half, but it's rounded up. So annoyingly, it's 2 rather than rounded down. So on your character sheet, you won't be able to do it, I've just realised, but I can do it for you.
I was going to say, I'll just draw some little thingies.
Just draw 3...
I have 5 health currently.
Yeah, just draw 3 slashes.
2 slashes.
Yeah. So yeah, the one in the middle, not taking your shit, he knows what you are. He's well aware what you are, and he just shoots at you mid-sentence. And you get shot just in your thigh. And it does hurt.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Oh, great. I'm trying as hard as I can to think how you would react to that, but I just don't know.
Probably a bit like, ah! You know, it still hurts. Just because you're dead doesn't mean your pain receptors are turned off.
I mean, sure.
After seeing the one in the middle shoot, the other 2 are going to respectively shoot at Mel. Dan and Alexander, you haven't exited the car, have you? So they're going to shoot.
Alexander, so I'm just wondering, our surroundings, is there anything like, because Alexander wants to get out the opposite side of the car and try and sneak around, but I don't know if there's anything to like try and do that with.
Do you know like in do you know like in an anime when they have the bridge and the little river and the little dirt thingy, and then it's like a slopey hill? It's that.
Okay, so
getting round would be a bit difficult because you'd have to go up a hill and then back down a hill whilst being stealthy about it.
Oh, that's fair. In that case, I'll still get out of the car on the opposite side to where the shooters are and stay low because I feel like they could get through the windows easier than they could get through the metal. So I'm going to get out and duck down.
But the other 2 Inquisitors are going to shoot at Mel, so...
1 die.
That's a lot of rattling.
That is only 1, so one of them shoots at you and it goes wide. And the other one... also shoots at you and goes wide. They're not very good, these Inquisitors. So they take the moment and they shoot and completely miss.
At this point, Dan's gonna be like, oh, fuck it. It's gonna get out the opposite side, same as Alexander, and like trying to like use like the back of the car for a bit of cover is gonna try and take a shot at literally anyone forward who isn't with him.
Anyone forward who isn't
not
with him. Fucking beautiful. Okay then, so...
He's not going to be like, I'm going to go for the kneecaps. He's just like, there's 3 of them in that direction. I'm going to try and get it in that direction. And not hit someone that I'm pals with. Or do myself a misfortune.
Okay. So I had it wrong when I asked Mel to roll hers, but I've corrected myself. So if you are firing your gun, it is composure and firearms. I forgot that it was dexterity and firearms. Oh, actually, no, I lied because she was first shot. So never mind, ignore me. I was right.
So it's dexterity and firearms.
No, Mel's was dexterity and firearms because she was first shot. Yours will be composure and firearms.
Okay. And one of those will be my blood dice.
Yeah, and you only have composure. So
yeah, I was. That's all we got.
That's all you got.
Righty ho. It's not too bad though.
Yeah.
It is 3 passes.
Wow, all 3 passes. I am shook of
6, 6, 7.
6, 6, 7. Okie dokie. Yep. So you shoot at which one are you shooting at? Just any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Well, we'll just say you've shot at the female, for example.
Yeah.
So your damage. Why will you never tell me the damage? I know it's +2 because of the gun, but I can never remember what you're actually rolling for your damage.
But yeah, either way, he'll like scoot back down on it, like hit it, and like almost like as soon as he's pressed the trigger, it's like
just flings himself backwards. Why does it not say, or does it say somewhere further in the book? And I have just completely ignored it because that sounds about right. Light gunshot +2. That's great, but what's the base damage?
There's someone screaming in the chat.
Is there?
No, I don't know, probably.
There's not.
Oh.
Of course there's nobody.
Time.
There's nobody screaming in the chat. Why would anybody be screaming in the chat?
Because they might know the answer.
Yeah, I mean, I wish. I know it just says +2 in the book. Right, sorry, I'm gonna go off. It will be if you roll me your just roll me your strength.
So would that be like?
Oh, actually, no. Sorry. We'll say it was your free dice that you've rolled, and then +2. So you've done 5. You've done 5 points of damage.
Okay.
To this poor Inquisitor, which will be aggravated damage, lethal damage, essentially, because they are human. So, which one was it? It was that one. Yeah. So you aim this gun towards this Inquisitor, and you pull the trigger and kind of like jerk back a little bit with the recoil, and this bullet goes straight towards her throat. You've managed to find that slight tiny gap just there, right, just between the top of her bulletproof vest, right, and her fucking headgear, and it's gone straight into her throat, and it spurts blood, and she just kind of drops her gun and she's clutching at her throat and on the ground, and she is bleeding out. So she ain't gonna do nothing. So that is 1 down, kiddies. Who's going next? Bearing in mind, you do have other things you can do, such as bite attacks, grappling, or if you want, use your powers.
Bold of you to assume that I know what those are.
I mean, out of character, Luke, you should.
Leah's gonna kind of see that, like, somehow Dan's way better with a gun than she is, and she just kind of throws the gun aside and runs over and tries to grapple.
Okay. Are you activating any of your powers to do so? Are you activating any of your disciplines?
Soaring leap would get me over faster, I guess. But
Soaring leap would get you over faster, but let's see. E-R-P-O. Here we go. No. Yes. I'm sorry. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. No. It's potent, not protein. It's further back. Aha, here we go. So, let's see, you've got lethal body, which, yeah, you can literally rip into flesh and break bones and stuff. Soaring leap basically just gives you a further distance to jump and move, and prowess lets you add your potence rating to your unarmed damage values. So yeah, you can use any of those really. I would recommend either lethal body or prowess.
Lethal body probably, because she'd probably she'd be used to using her body to try and grapple somebody anyway.
Yep.
So I feel like that would kind of fit.
So lethal body doesn't cost you anything to activate. It is a free discipline, so you don't have to do a blood rouse in order to activate it. Your unarmed attacks now do aggravated health damage to mortals. So if you are doing a grapple, did we say?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Can you roll me your strength plus your brawl plus your 1 extra dice for grapple speciality?
That is, well, that's be a total of 9, but obviously take 1 away for hunger. So yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
How many dice?
You are still rolling 9 dice. It's just one of those.
Yeah.
Die.
Okay, right. So blood we passed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 successes plus a critical.
Did you get 2 10s or just the 1?
Just 1. So.
Just 1. It doesn't count then. You need 2.
Okay, well 6 then.
Critical.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 success.
Cool. Which one were you going for? The one in the middle or the one to the
I feel like she has a grudge against someone in the middle, so the one in the middle.
Yeah, I thought as much. Okay, so you run towards this Inquisitor in the middle, and you just grab a hold of him, and you essentially, let's say you seismic toss the shit out of him, like wrestling style, just yeet onto the ground. And you've got him basically on the ground with your hand round his throat, just choking him. He's kind of like, he's got both of his hands on and he's like pulling, trying to rip you off him. But he's a human. He does not have the strength to do that. So as long as you keep holding onto him and choking him, essentially, he is going to die next round. So there is the one singular guy left, and it is technically his turn. So he is going to look at you and kind of go, ah! And then he is going to shoot at you. One, two, three. Okay, so yeah, he unloads his rifle into your hand to try and, well, not your hand, sorry, I lied. He unloads it in your arm to try and stop you from having a good grip, essentially. He's hoping that if he causes you enough pain, it will rip away. Can you roll me your composure and resolve, please?
5 minus 1 for the blood, I guess, as well. Yep. 1, 2, 3 success.
3 success?
Yep.
Okay, so defense wins. So you do actually manage to keep your hold on to the Inquisitor that you are choking. the shot to your arm, whilst it is burning and stinging, in your head you can just hear, "No, keep a hold, choke him out, kill him!" And it is now Grace's turn.
Am I still able to move?
Yep, you can still move. You've just took some damage.
It's gravy time.
Is there a thing on the ground that's near me that might be like a weapon almost, like a bar?
Yeah, you can see a piece of a metal pipe just at the side near the wall of the underpass.
Could I possibly grab that and make a run for the guy who shot me?
You can indeed. Well, the guy that shot you is on the floor.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay, the one that's still standing then.
Yeah.
The girl that was on the floor.
Yeah, she's on the floor bleeding, and the tall inquisitor that shot you is currently being choked to death in a non-kinky way. So, if you are running and going to hit the other one, could you roll me your melee and strength, please?
This might have been a poor plan.
So it's three regular dice, 1 blood dice.
Yeah. I got blanks and a success. Well, critical success.
On the black ones.
Yeah.
So you got 1 success.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So you.
So I'm just mad. I'm gonna run at him and I'm just gonna be like, "How dare you shoot a lady in the leg!" He's gonna kill me.
He sees you running with this pipe in the air. You're not exactly quiet about it because you did just yell. And he just, you go to swing, and as you swing, he just steps out of the way.
Oh dear.
Aw.
Oh dear.
I only get one chance.
And you only get to live once.
Twice in this case.
Or twice in this case. I believe it was Dan next.
I can't remember if it was Dan or Alexander that went.
Yeah, me
first.
neither.
I'm happy for Dan to go first.
Should have rolled that down.
Dan is gonna try and meerkat his way back up and be like, "Okay, 2 on the ground, this one then," and try and shoot at the one that is still up.
Perfect. Composure and firearms again, please, then, Dan.
Oh, firearms. Okay. That's good. Oh no, I had 1 10, a 9, and a 6.
It's all right. That's still 3 successes.
I know, but I was like, I almost got a really good one. I was like, oh man.
It's fun. It's fun. Let's see if you can do some magic again.
Stranger things have happened.
Nope. You shoot again with your pistol, hoping to do a similar magic trick as you just did. You unfortunately you do hit, but you just hit into his arm, which is not covered by the tactical armor in such a way. So he takes it, he goes, ah, and he's kind of like, he's holding his gun with just the one hand, and his arms kind of drop to its side, and it started trickling blood, but it's not. He's not going to die from it anytime soon. It is a mere gunshot wound, or not a gunshot wound. It's a mere pistol wound. So he is still standing, and he is waiting to see what happens next.
Mildly inconvenienced.
He has been mildly inconvenienced.
Ducks back down.
It's fine because the NHS will cover that. It will be Rita's reign in the morning, should he live. Alexander, it is your turn. What
So
are you doing?
Alexander's going to try and do a thing. So he's going to run at this guy who's just standing, seeing that he's just been inconvenienced. He doesn't think he'll be shot right away.
Yep.
And he's going to try and kind of... He wants to pin him against the van in a way that he can lock eyes with him, essentially. I
Okay.
want to try and do a vampire skill.
Okay. Roll me your brawl and your... Let's see here. Roll me your brawl and your dexterity, please.
Okay. One success on the black die.
One success.
Everything else is... Oh no, wait, 2 6. I've got a success on my red die too. 2 successes.
He does not see you coming. He is mildly inconvenienced by a gun wound, and he's too busy concentrating on Dan, who shot at him. So he does not see you. Where you run up to him and you use your force to slam him against the van, and you can see his eyes through his tactical mask, and his eyes are wide. He is fucking terrified.
Okay, cool. Can I do a, can
I
I
like
do
the
a thing?
idea that that's all that Alexander says. Okay, cool.
It's just the panic. Like he wants to use a thing, but I don't think I can use it straight away. Do I have to
You
wait till
will
next turn?
have to wait till your next turn because
Cool, I'll just
you've
kind of
done,
try and
you've
hold
done
him
your
there
own
then.
action, yeah.
That's cool.
So we are back up to Liam, who is choking this guy out. If you are continuing to do so, can you roll me your... Can you roll me your strength and brawl again, please, plus your grappling?
How many dice?
Oh,
One.
wow, there were dice in there that I did not mean to roll.
Two.
I should look at my dice cup before I put dice in. Otherwise, that would have been real bad for you guys, because there was like 10 dice in there.
4 successes, but
King
I got
concern.
a crit fail on my blood die.
Yeah, but you got successes on your regular dice.
Okay,
so
that's
fine.
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 It's like
2, 5, 3, 5, 6. What did you get?
4 successes.
4 successes. He gets 6 successes with 2 10s. And 2 other. So he kind of like, as he's choking, he looks like for a moment, he kind of just closes his eyes. You're thinking to yourself, you can hear the beast in your head going, yes, yes, he's going, and his eyes just shut for a moment. And then his eyes snap back open, and he kind of uses his lower body strength to kick. And the force of his like kicking, essentially, because you're kind of on top of him, like strangling him, his lower body pelvis essentially just kind of goes and you get thrown over the top of him. As he does that, he kind of just rolls over, starts coughing, and scrambles his way back up and grabs back a hold of his gun, and he points it at you. He's going to shoot at you.
Oh God.
Fully would, yeah.
I would shoot at you too. There was no safe word. Nope. He goes to shoot, but he shoots wide because he is slightly disorientated. He's a little bit hazy. So he kind of grabs his gun in. He thinks he's shooting at you, but he goes, oh, and he just completely misses. It's like he's shooting at you, but it's not you. It's an illusion. So that is his turn. And now it is his buddy's turn.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That buddy is also...
That's the moment of, oh shit, that me. That's cool.
That buddy is dealing with Alexander. Oh, fuck. Okay, so Alexander, can you roll me as a contest Alexander, can you roll me a dexterity brawl, please?
I got a success and a critical success on the black, but I got a skull on the red.
That's fine. Doesn't matter, because as long as you get successes on your black dice, doesn't matter what you get on the right.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, good.
You are fine, unless. Sorry, did you say you got a critical success on a black and one on a red?
No, I got a critical success. I got a critical success and a regular success on the black, and I got a skull on the red.
All right, that's fine. I was going to say, because if you got a critical success on a black and a critical on a red, something would happen.
Ooh.
But you didn't. So you only got 2.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. So he got 4, so he wins. He too is going to buck you off him, so he's gonna like use his force, and he just kind of like pushes you off. I also flung my earphones out of my ear. This is why you should have both earphones in. So yeah, he pushes you off, and he kind of like staggers forward for a moment, and he again sort of puts his gun back up, pointing straight at you. It is now Grace's turn.
Hit mode
So I'm
Grace.
assuming the guy's clear now. It's not.
Yeah, you can shoot at either of them. They are no longer being pinned.
I mean, I'm not going to shoot. I have a method forward.
That is true.
I'm gonna go for like an immediate swing at him as fast as I can.
Okay. Are you swinging at the one you swung at previously?
Yeah, the one that was just pinned up against. The
Okay, so you are technically behind him, so he can't defend himself from this. So, can you do me your melee and strength, please?
That was 2 successes and 2 blank. Oh no, 2 successes and a critical success and a blank.
Sorry, 2 successes.
2 successes, 1 blank, 1 critical success.
Right, that's fine. Okay.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Make English.
Make English. Do good. We are professional streamers.
They so hard.
I have to laugh every time
I mean, y'all got an advantage. This is my first stream ever.
That is true. This is your first stream ever. Okay, so you got 3 successes, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So plus your heavy impact iron pole, that gives you 5 damage. You come up behind this guy and you just straight onto the back of his head, and he just goes sideways. He's down. He's on the floor. You can see blood trickling out of the helmet, and you can see the side of the helmet has caved itself in. You can probably guess it has pierced through his head with the force of that hit. So that is 1 down. You just have Tall Boy left.
Right.
It is your turn, Dan.
I am going to, in a stunning turn of events, surprising literally no one who has watched the stream until this point, I am going to bop myself back up from behind the car. I am going to try and shoot at him. I am going to hopefully hit.
Would you plus fire on, please? All I can imagine is just the door open of this limousine and just you stood behind it going, pachoo, pachoo.
I want Dan to be making the noises too.
Pew, pew. Blam, blam. All of the good noises.
Okay. 7, 7, 8, so all passes.
7, 7, 8. Oof. Ooh boy. Yep. Nope. He wins on defense, so he sees he clocks eyes with you. He's like, ah. And as you shoot, he just kind of like semi moves out of the way. He can see because you're aiming it like this. He's like, oh. And he's like, I'm not getting caught by this again. And he just almost sidesteps out of the way of this one. Your shot going past him.
That's valid.
Yeah,
that's valid.
That's valid. Alexander, it is your turn.
Oh no, I don't know what to do now.
Slap
Bite
him.
him! Bite him!
Slap him.
Yeah, you know what?
Challenge
I'll
him to a
bite him.
duel.
I'll try and. Seeing that one of them got shot in the throat, I'll see if I can try and bite into his neck. The one that threw me off before.
Yes.
I thought he was like, I thought his head was caved in with a pipe.
No,
No,
that
the
was
first
the one.
one. The one that
No,
you
so the
shot.
first one got shot in the throat. That was by Dan. The second one, the other smaller gentleman who Alexander was fighting just got their head caved in by Grace with a iron pole. So it's the
Okay.
tall boy that
tall boy.
Leah was
Okay.
trying to choke to death, and he was like, "No."
So you're gonna chomp on
I'm gonna
tall
chomp
boy.
on
So
one that escapes Leia.
you're gonna chomp.
Or try. I don't even know.
But
I
it's
don't know.
difficult. It is difficult because obviously of the tactical gear. So, can you roll me your brawl and dexterity, please? Oh, sorry, brawl and. No, brawl and dexterity.
Oh, thank God! I thought you were going to change it to strength. That's not good for me.
I considered it, and then I was like, no, dexterity.
I got 2 successes.
2 successes.
I don't think it's going to do anything to this dude.
Pretty strong.
No,
He's drunk.
he sees you coming, and as you go to jump and leap at him and bite him, he just kind of he puts a hand out, and he in turn grabs a hold of you, and he just like flings you to the floor.
Right, murder pile on this guy.
Murder pile on this guy. Leia, it is your turn.
Yeah, murder pile time.
Murder pile. Are you doing the same? Are you going for a grapple-y?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So strength, brawl plus your 1 in grapple.
Oh, so I get an extra one for grapple, don't I?
Yeah, you get plus 1 for your grapple speciality.
3, 4, 5.
So you
I've actually
roll-
been
you
rolling
roll
1
9.
dice to less. Yeah.
Yeah, you roll 9 dice if you're grappling. It was my favourite thing to do as a kindred.
1, 2, 3, 4 successes. That's
4
not very many.
successes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You grab back a hold of him, and you once again just pin him to the floor. And again, he starts struggling. It is now his turn. He is going to try once again and put you off him. 1, 2. Can you roll me your composure and stamina, please? At this point, it's turning into Buckaroo.
Oh, only 2 success that time.
Only 2 successes. Okay, yeah. So he once again chucks you off. Not as successfully, but he does manage to chuck you off
Got you.
just a tiny
Got
bit.
you. Not got you.
Got you.
Got you. Not got you.
Hey, what I put you.
It is Grace's turn.
Come on, Grace. Come on, brain him.
A shocking turn of events.
You're
I'm not
also
going to believe this. I'm not going to hit him with the pole.
what?
I'm
Hit him
going to
with
try
the
and
pole.
convince him to surrender as his other 2 friends have gone down, because I think we need the information from him.
Okay. So what are you doing?
Is it gaslighting or something? Persuasion?
So
I'm going to try and actually persuade him.
So you're just going to try and persuade him. Okay.
Yeah.
If you're gaslighting, I don't think you can gaslight him.
I don't know if it's classed as, it says persuasion.
Yeah, you've got
Gaslighting,
so you
actually.
can persuade him, but gaslighting is your speciality. Where you know what gaslighting is, yeah.
Well, yes.
Yeah. So you can't gaslight him because it's not the right situation for that. You can't like.
I don't know how to gaslight correctly.
I mean, if you can tell me how you're going to gaslight him, then I'll let you rule it as gaslighting.
Quite clearly, I go around the route of, well, you should surrender because you can see it in your face. You already know that it's the correct action to take.
Yeah, go on then. Roll your manipulation and your persuasion plus your extra one for gaslight, so that's 5 dice. Yeah. 4 black, 1 red.
Yeah. 2, 3 successes and 2 blanks.
3 successes. Yeah. Okay. So he looks at you and his body deflates, and he drops his gun, and he goes, "I don't want to die like this.
Oh.
You've already killed my friends. But if I don't kill you, then they'll kill me."
How about you tell us some information and we make sure you 100% believe you did kill us?
Can you roll me your manipulation and persuasion, Sean?
That's a lot of dice.
That is a lot of dice.
Now it's your turn to roll loads of dice.
Now it's your turn.
3 successes, 2 criticals.
So 2 criticals, so that's 4 from your 2 criticals, and then 3, so that's 7. Yeah, I'm not even going to roll his dice for that because he can't even. He couldn't even. He could not even. He just kind of. What do you mean you can make me think I've killed you?
It's I mean, I'm a trained psychologist. I can make you 100% believe that you have successfully killed us. Nothing they could do to you could make you think otherwise.
But they have their ways. They're able to. They'll find out, and when they find out, they'll kill me for failing.
No, I'm sure you'll be absolutely fine. You're going to be absolutely fine. You just need to have a nice conversation with us, and then you can go on your way and continue your life 100% convinced we're gone, not a problem anymore.
Okay, I'll tell you everything, but you have to promise me. You have to promise me that you'll make me safe from them.
Cross my undead heart.
And with that, we are going to call it for a night because somebody will not leave me alone. Oh my goodness. Wow, guys.
Oh, we got a fight.
The general rules of vampire fights is 1, 2, 3, and it's finished. That went on way longer than 3 rounds. But I for your first lot of fighting, I thought it was appropriate to show you that that's kind of how combat works in a way.
No,
I will
murder circles. We come from.
Oh, Kess, you've gone. Kess, Luke, you've gone.
Where have I gone? Oh dear God!
Camera.
My camera has snuffed it. I have no idea why. I'm sorry, Eddie.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Also, hilariously, we just had a raid from Dice of the Beholder right as we were finishing.
Why is that died?
I'm not sure.
That means
No,
Beth is not down.
I'm sorry, guys.
Seems more appropriate just saying.
That is not getting picked up anymore.
It's fine. We're at the end anyway. So thank you everyone who came in and watched, whether you were here from the beginning or you jumped in at whatever time. Like, for example, our lovely friends of Dyson the Beholder who jumped in right at the end. Thanks,
But
guys.
you can catch it on YouTube.
But you can catch it either on VOD on here, or you will be able to catch it on the Heavyweight Gaming YouTube channel. We have loved having you with us. There will be one more session of this short campaign, which will conclude next Wednesday. It technically should have concluded tonight, but things went a little bit awry, so we'll finish it next week. If you haven't already, consider hitting the follow button so that you can be notified when any of our streams go live on the channel. We are currently streaming 6 days a week now. There is only one day of the week where this channel will not be streaming anything on it, but that is subject to change. If you've got a Twitch, an Amazon Prime, consider popping it onto this channel because you get a free Prime subscription with Twitch. So we would greatly appreciate it if you did that. And also, if you could, for the love of dear God, so AD will shut up about it, consider following, subscribing to the YouTube channel so he can get his 100 subscribers and change the URL of the name of the channel. Doesn't matter what happens after the 100, but he needs 100 to change it. So it's not a bunch of letters and numbers. Thank you all very much for watching. This has been Vampire the Masquerade. Tune in tomorrow for Carbon 2185. Got it this week, 2185 at 8 o'clock with the wonderful AD and his band of merry men. And we will catch you all next Wednesday. Say bye-bye, players.
Bye, players.